10 steps to overcoming your fear. Scare? Unsure? We'll show you 10 steps in this video on how to conquer your fears. What exactly is fear? Fear is a fundamental, basic, and common emotion. This means that it can be found in each and every one of our emotional repertoires. Next, what will happen? Evidently, fear is a defense mechanism against potentially dangerous situations. If someone asks why they are afraid, they should know that this emotion has a very clear survival function. When anything poses a risk to you, choose the response that is most appropriate given the circumstances. Our ancestors have been able to survive in large part because of fear. Why do I feel afraid? Causes of fear and uncertainty. The fearful reaction appears in response to the perception of a threat. In other words, when we find ourselves in a situation where there is a risk that can have negative consequences for us. For example, being out of work can cause anxiety because it has a negative impact on your economy, well-being, and quality of life. As a result, both of these are the causes of the aversion reaction. A serious risk situation and a lack of resources to move forward are both present. The threat that the situation poses as well as the lack of resources to address it may or may not be realized. The second option is more popular and is based on the individual characteristics listed below. The sought-after auto-concept is a distorted view of the self. Negative or unstable self-perception, low or unstable self-perception, a fluctuating self-perception brought on by outside events. Asterisk, a lack of confidence is also a lack of security and hope. Asterisk, pessimism, the tendency to view reality from a negative perspective. How may personal fears and insecurities be overcome? The following are a few psychological techniques used in therapy to overcome phobias. 1. Work on your own image. The first step toward overcoming anxiety and insecurity is self-awareness. Examine and reflect on your characteristics, abilities, capacities, accomplishments, strong points, and weak points. You can put this into practice by being as objective as you can be while describing yourself. It is also possible to request from trustworthy individuals that they write down their descriptions before sharing the details. 2. Feed your optimism. How can you get past your fears and worries? We can all see the world by way of a filter. It's possible that you have a negative filter, and that focusing solely on the negative effects is making you anxious. Use the following positive psychology exercises to strengthen your positivity. 3. Employ your self-evaluation. While our self-concept is the collection of characteristics we see in ourselves, our self-worth is how we value these characteristics. A healthy self-perception is one that is constructive, that is, one that values oneself, and one that is stable, that is, one that does not change as a result of external events. 4. Recognize your fear. How do I overcome my anxiety and fears? The first step to overcoming fears, anxieties, concerns, or personal insecurities is acknowledging and accepting them. It is inefficient to use energy while hiding your fears. It's true that showing your fears lessens your vulnerability, but keep in mind that being human means being fallible and vulnerable. 5. Talk about it. After acknowledging it, you can talk about it naturally and normally. Sharing your fears can cause others to open up and share yours with you. The ability to connect without masks and share your concerns will give you peace of mind and security, as well as the benefits of these people's support. 6. Fight fear with fear. It's common knowledge that the initial fright stimulus causes the most temperate response. For instance, a person who fears speaking in front of others may also fear the following symptoms: palpitations, sweating, trembling, bloating, facial enragement, stuttering, tingling, dizziness, difficulty breathing, hot flashing, etc. 7. Visualize. Visualization is the act of imagining a situation. It involves the senses, sight, sound, smell, taste, or cinematic sensations such as movement, position, and tact. Because the brain is unable to distinguish between reality and imagination, visualization works. Consequently, it has a chemical reaction that is comparable to imagining a situation. The same areas of our brain that are active during action are also active during visualization. As a result, it is thought to be an effective method for assessing behavior. For instance, it might be useful to overcome a driving phobia. 8. Study relaxation techniques. Reducing physical activity that causes stress, anxiety, and fear is the goal of relaxation techniques. Because they can both activate and inhibit the parasympathetic nervous system, relaxation techniques are effective. 9. Use a dreaded stimulant. How are fears and doubts overcome? The best method for overcoming irrational fears is exposure. This behavioral technique is based on the principle of habituation, which is the decrease in response intensity in response to repeated exposure to an unintentional stimulus. In other words, if you frequently find yourself in a bad situation, your emotional reaction will deteriorate. The visualization may take several forms. Live exhibition, the actual exposure to a simulated sound, refers to visualizing the threatening situation. The best option is to have a professional guide the gradual exposure while also include a relaxation exercise. 10. Lives with fear. You must understand that fear will never completely go away if you're wondering how to let it go. The saying is that fear is not a gap. It is an emotion, and like all others, it needs to be controlled and managed. The steps to managing emotions are as follows. Recognize it, be aware of it. Identify them, give them a name. Be sure to pay attention and not try to avoid it. You are welcome to inquire as to why I am currently feeling afraid or what is causing this reaction. Leave it be. Once you've made a decision and received enough information from emotion, you may let it go. If you liked the content, hit the like button and subscribe to my channel.